Hello, welcome back. We got some thaumaturgy done. We now have revelational exogenesis. Unfortunately, well, I suppose fortunately, ventral water has actually vanished this turn. So we don't actually need to worry about enemy dominion anymore. At least not from Gerudo. So I'm going to go back into Conjuration. We might actually get Conjuration 9 quite rapidly. We'll see how things go. Did a lot of Haruspecs and found nothing, unfortunately. No nature sites anywhere. Also summoned a bunch of Great Eagles. I gave the Great Eagles to one of these guys to see how far we could move. We now have a map move of 38 with these bad boys. These have a siege bonus of 10 each. Brings them up to 16.5 siege with a very long range. So quite a lot of siege strength with just this guy now. And he can move quite far. He could actually hit this throne just by moving, which is pretty good. But we'll wait and see first. I'll come to thrones in a moment though. Die Portent. Selenia has cast Burden of Time. I've mentioned a few times, I think, that worm colonies have a very low max age. 10, I believe. Yeah. So Burden of Time might wipe out all of our worm colonies pretty fast. It's unfortunate. But we're getting near the end of the game, so maybe it's not too bad. The other thing about worm colonies is that they have very low magic resistance. Which means I'm wondering if they might be more of a liability once Cataclysm hits anyway. Because if they're all patrolling and, you know, Ergi or someone drops onto a throne, they're all just going to get enslaved anyway, aren't they? Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world if they all die in 7 turns. Because there might not be that much use anyway at this point. Some of our other troops probably don't have great ages now that I think about it. I haven't really looked. Teeth in the Hills are max age 30. Wildlings I think are pretty good, yeah. They're max age 600. Slender 120. Kind of a mixed bag. The Spirits probably, yeah, the Spirits are ridiculous max age. They're not going to be in any danger. Proclamation from DM Dracket. Stonefoot is a new prophet. They're AI though, so... They also attacked us in winter with some archers. That went fine. We took 3 provinces. Dashid, no problems. Just harassing AI DM Dracket. Gerudo was a lake. Took that, no problems. That's that lake there. And Cliff Coast was a Selenian province. It is within the square. So I took that. Again, no problems. It's all fine. Lightning keeps striking. Lost the Madman. Old age plagues our troops. 2 units have suffered badly. Bunch of events then. Only the last 2 are non-nation ones though. First of all, some squires have been caught and interrogated over in Linshire. Fortunately, we're moving units through this province quite a lot to get to the Lake Throne. That's fine. And in Brightwoods, brigands have taken the opportunity to claim this poorly defended province. So we got attacked in Brightwoods by villains, but they're no match for barbarians. We also finally got attacked in Haloma, which is, we caught and interrogated some barbarians a long time ago. So I've been leaving some troops here to defend against them. So that goes okay. Don't lose too much stuff either. A couple of worms. Some peasants. That's okay. So this turn, yeah. I'll just check in on projects first of all. I was making a stealthy spirit. Turns out I should have like reminded myself what slots these guys have. They don't have body slots, so I can't use the ranger's cloak. They also don't have feet slots, so I can't use the ranger's boots. But they can use the Eye of Innocence and the Cat's Eye amulet. So this guy now has a stealth of 150. I think they have a base of like 90, which is very good already. So he's extremely stealthy. So Bune here is going to head over to this throne. Check it out. This one looks like the one that's most likely to be undefended. It's one of Cassia's. It just borders a kind of AI Gerudo at this point. So I think that's probably the least defended. I can't really tell what this part of the world looks like exactly. I don't know where like La Mancha and Selenia and Cassia actually are, so I don't know how vulnerable those thrones are to each other. But this one I think looks like it might be undefended, just based on looking at the terrain here. I'm going to try scouting that one first. Also scouted out Valgard, which also looks pretty undefended, to be honest. 70 enemy units. We'll see what the scouting report says next turn, but that one already looks like a good target to just jump on. So in a turn or two, he might just go on this throne, if it remains looking quite puny. We'll have to see. Yeah, I could probably move that Death Mage I've been empowering to drop leprosy on this province or something. But at the moment he's twice spawning himself, so that if he hits a province and gets, you know, blasted by fire and ice or something, if he dies he'll be fine, he'll come back to life as a white mage or whatever. Other project was checking out how high I could get magic resistance on a hungry prince. Currently 22, which isn't that bad actually. We get 1 magic resist from our bless. And then he's got a lead shield, crown of lead, he only has a crown slot so I can't use a skull cap. Mirror armor, amulet of anti-magic, and then a bless item. Big issue then is that he has 9 encumbrance, so he, I guess he is in a cold province currently. That's true. But still, he has quite a lot of encumbrance. So I'm forging some Boots of the Messenger to give him a little bit of reinvigoration, and also a Bloodthorn, which does life drain. It's only a length 0 weapon, so I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but the next thing I'm going to do is see how high I can pump his hit points up. We get him up to like over 1,000 hit points. He'll just be on the front line spamming slime and taking up a lot of attacks, which would be quite funny. That's all I really want him to do. Let's see how high we can get his hit points. So currently Bine here is agitating the mire. The Hungry Prince himself is pillaging, and everything else is being moved out of the province. All the worms. So he's just going to eat 50 turns worth of 50 corpses a turn for a while. We'll see how that goes. Corpse eater 50. So we'll check in on his hit points from time to time. Other than that, no other projects just yet. Just going to finish off this region now. We don't have to worry about Vengeful Waters anymore, which is good. I'm just going to roll everything onto Whispering Wastes. Province looks pretty undefended at this point. We have a ton of stuff here, lots of Spirits of Points. It's really the Spirits of Points who are doing the bulk of the spell casting, and they are just doing Soul Slayers, Enslaved Mind, Astral Geysers, and 2 turns of Body Ethereal and Luck, just to maybe buff up some of these troops. Yeah, everyone else is just on walk forwards duty. There's just so much stuff here, it doesn't even really feel worth scripting it. The units, I mean. They're just in big blocks, they can do what they want. This battle is really going to be carried by the spirits, and it doesn't look like there's much here defending anyway, so... I was going to pick off this little province with this other little army. Just to take out the temple. I think it has lots of temples. We should start burning some of those down, just to make sure that our dominion is dominant. Looks like we are starting to push out into other people's territory a little bit more forcefully now. It'd be nice when this area develops my dominion as well. I'm Cosmic Gardening onto Enumeral, so this province will have a temple next turn. And I'm also building a temple somewhere, I think. I can't remember where though. Let's see. It's probably not that important. Oh, found it immediately. That's okay. So Lynchia. Oh yeah. So this is the province that we're predicting an attack here, but currently we're moving troops through this province to get to this lake. So it's always going to be quite well defended. So I'm putting the temple down there to help bump up Dominion in this region. Also moving the Death Mage over to Agonor, so he'll sit here and roll, I guess. Just to make sure we stop getting attacked by undead from this weird event. And we can put down a temple here next as well, because this province will be defended. This little raiding stack is going to burn down this temple against AI DM Dracket. And all the other arrows are just moving Bedfellow's commanders into forts. And that's it for this turn. So in next turn I'll move the spirit that has the eagles to somewhere that's within strike distance of whichever throne we decide to go after. And we'll storm this fort, and then once this fort's stormed, I'll teleport my like 20 at this point spirits onto the next throne we want to hit. I might also Yeah, I'll summon some more eagles probably as well. We could do that this turn actually. Summon great eagle. This does scale. So I could give all of the boosters to the 3-0. Or is he Othar? I'll just cast it once. We've only got gems for once, I think. But we'll get him up to 5. And summon some more eagles. And I might also turn all my earth gems into gate cleavers as well, because why not? So that's it for this turn. That's turn 70. Thanks for watching. I might be able to snag a win in like 5 turns or so if everything goes well. So fingers crossed. And I'll see you then. Hello, welcome back. The throne of bureaucracy has been claimed by Kazia. They're up to 5 thrones now, so they're 1 behind me. We did some site searching, didn't find anything again. Also continued summoning some stuff. I started summoning Kraken in the underwater throne. Planted another temple and summoned more eagles. Also twice spawned my yeah, I was thinking because this is a JBBM game, you can actually a lot of the spells that usually would summon an immortal commander like Lichcraft and Wraithlord and stuff like that. In JBBM games they're transformations. So maybe it's better if instead of twice spawning commanders like this I just transform them into liches or something that's immortal. Maybe that would be a better thing to do, I don't know. But for now he's twice spawned anyway, so that's that. Another report from Shepherd's Haven, more disease. Yeah. Disease and Burden of Time is probably going to be a bad combo. A huge earth elemental appeared out of nowhere and attacked us. Also in the same province that just got leprosy. This is Selenia harassing the army that we have adjacent to Gerudo's throne. Like earth attack went for one of my dancers in the grass. Bit of a clowny fight. We just about managed to kill the earth elemental though. It wasn't too bad. A couple of battles then. We have been attacked by Kazia in 2 places. First in Blue Waters. So this is my underwater throne. Awkward because I don't think I gave any of my commanders gems or anything. So when I first glanced at this guy I just assumed it was Cassia's pretender, but it's not. It's some kind of summon. But either way it's very very powerful. It is an immortal chassis. It has earth and death magic. A lot of items as well. He's been given Ember, which does fire and frost AoE. Got an immaculate shield. Horror helmet, quickness boots, amulet for underwater breathing, and a regen ring. It's going to do temper flesh, which gives it resistance to all the melee damage types. It also does soul vortex. Yeah. So notably as well, on turn 1 it cast Iron Skin, which put it down to shock vulnerability 5 from 10. It also does Soul Vortex. And eventually it casts Iron Will as well. Currently it's only 18 magic resistance. So shock and MR seem to be its weaknesses. Shock after turn 1. MR before turn 4. And this is also kind of a clowny fight. So after a while, this guy, is he a combat caster or something? I'm not sure how it is that this happens, but Rigor Mortis goes up eventually. I guess he just goes back on script after attacking and does it. I'm not sure, but either way, Rigor Mortis is devastating as we know. This guy is undead. So it's not going to affect him at all. He's currently fatigue neutral, he's got Soul Vortex up. All my commanders sort of go to sleep very quickly. They were also kind of out of range to really do anything, because he starts all the way back. So I'm probably going to fast forward this fight in the recording now. So this one Triton guard managed to survive the whole fight by being asleep. And so eventually we hit the turn limit, and as he routed. So big respect to that Triton guard for falling asleep just long enough that we actually won this battle. Doesn't look like it, but we did, we won. So we still actually have our throne, we still have our temple, still have 20 points of province defense. It's fine. Still kind of a problem though. He's just here. He retreated to Polgrove. But yeah, we managed to keep the province thanks to having 20 points of province defense. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you only need 1 point of PD. We also got attacked in Stone Heavens as well, which is over here, also by a Kazian army. This one's not as interesting. Nothing really too kind of... Oh god. Nothing... What's happened to my camera? Nothing too terrifying over here. There's only one mage. But quite a lot of crossbow guys, who we do know have the big bless. Decay weapons, magic weapons, a bunch of stuff. I think this goes the mage, yeah. Water mage. Everyone else is just got priests. About it. So that's over here. Can't remember if I had a temple in this province or not, but I can't imagine this army is threatening this throne though. It's not very impressive. I'm going to assume it's just raiding. So that's what Kazi's been doing. We then attacked three provinces. First was Illyrian Swamps. Threw just some random stuff at this province to try and raid it, but it turns out that Selenia actually moved an army here. So this goes very poorly. We know that Selenia's Bless completely counters our worms, and there are actually a lot of mages here as well. Worms really can't do anything to these units. Lots of skeletons and lots of flaming sacreds over in the Illyrian Swamp. 234 units. So I assume this is the army that he was going to take this throne with. We are now sitting on it, so let's see what happens. We also attacked some DM Dracket stuff, nothing too interesting. And then we put this fort under siege. This is Gerudo's throne. Yeah, so we've seen that army a few times. Over here, you got lots of spirits of points. No gems with this army though still, unfortunately. Lightning continues to strike, and Old Eggs continues to plague our troops. It killed one of my Tangleheart Eggs as well. I think I can use that spell at all this turn. Well, from this point of the game. Also got attacked in Queen Forest by some trolls. They're over here. So, bye-bye to that fort. And Lynchia, we got attacked by some knights. But, yeah, as I said last time, we were moving units through this province, so not a big deal. And that's everything, really. Okay, so kind of an awkward spot to be in. This army's quite threatening just because my worms can't do anything to it. And there's quite a lot of mages and stuff in this army as well. I think there's well over 20 mages, right? Yeah. So it's pretty threatening. So with that in mind, I'm going to have to move more stuff here to help defend. So the stuff that's already here is going to storm castle this turn. That's not changing. I don't think I can run away entirely. I think that would be a mistake. I'm still going to try and take this throne. I'm just going to move in additional stuff to try and help defend. You can see lots of red arrows, which is the remaining spirits of points that aren't with this army yet. So they're all going to be moving over. I also have this little death mage here, randomly. I've given him the 2 death boosters, which is very expensive, but we can reforge them if we need to. He's going to do rigor mortis. Selenia, we saw, summons a lot of undead himself, and they won't be affected by this. But I'm going to try and pull off the thing I did in the defense at Uuodeouda a long time ago, which is I'm going to put up rigor mortis, and then I'm going to throw down a bunch of spells that summon allies, because that seemed to be kind of effective last time. So over here, I've got 2 of my nature mages doing greater peristaltic passage. I've got mages as well doing cloud trapeze. So these guys are all moving over to the fight as well. They're all doing... Oh, I meant to change this. I want 1 ton of Howl. So they're going to put up spells that summon allies, which is Howl and Rouse the Tangleheart. I wish I could get more nature mages over, but unfortunately the other throne that has a lot of my big nature mages still doesn't have a Great Red Maw yet, so I can't use my national teleport. But they're going to put up Howl, Rouse the Tangleheart. I've got my mages cloud trapezing in as well, and they're just going to dump air elementals into the battlefield. Hopefully that disrupts a lot of linear spellcasting on the first few turns. The other thing that's slightly different is that I now have all of my spirits of points to do Astral Geyser on turn 1. This does do quite a lot of AoE damage. What I'm hoping is that if we can lay down a huge number of Astral Geysers on turn 1, maybe it will interrupt some of the spellcasting. Because it would be really cool if we interrupted Divine Blessing. Because Divine Blessing has a cast time of 125, and Astral Geyser is only 100, so... I'm not sure how spellcast interruption happens exactly. I'm not sure if it only triggers off melee damage or something. But I know that I have seen mages get hit and stop casting before, so that's kind of the plan. There's always a sort of outside chance that maybe we do so much AoE damage with this we actually kill some mages on turn 1 as well, but I'm not sure how likely that is. We'll put up Rigor Mortis, we'll lay down some summoning spells, we'll have all the spirits constantly spamming Astral Geyser and then Soul Slays and Enslaved Minds and all the usual stuff. And then the guys who are teleporting in are also bringing quite a few allies, including quite a few Teeth in the Hills. Teeth in the Hills might be quite good against Selenia. It's kind of a toss-up. They do get 4 attacks, which means they might get really badly hurt by the Bless, just like the Worms do. On the other hand, they have Dark Power. So when Selenia puts up Solar Eclipse, that will actually buff all of my Teeth in the Hills, which is quite cool. So that's all the stuff that's moving over here. That does mean that I'm ignoring this development, which is fine for now. Originally I was thinking of cloud trapezing a bunch of stuff onto this guy and just spamming air elementals, because he only has 5 shock resistance. I thought a bunch of air elees plus all of the spirits, or well, a couple of spirits spamming Soul Slay or something might be enough to kill this guy. But I think it's better to just bring everything here to defend against this. And then if we're successful, we can just teleport all of the spirits to Blue Waters next turn anyway, and just try soul slaying him to death with about 20 casters. So I think that's fine. I would just really like to win this battle. And really that's the only kind of stuff that's happening this turn. I did realise that now that we have this guy up to death 4 and we have 2 death boosters, we can get him up to death 6. Which means he could cast Well of Misery. Which might be kind of interesting. This generates 21 death gems. So if we had that as well, we'd be generating 63 death gems a turn. We could start alchemizing them all into pearls, and then we could dispel some of these globals that we don't like. Seems like it might be a good idea. I think generating gems is never bad, right? We'll see how this goes though. Currently all of my death boosters are on this guy, so yeah. Only other thing to check in on is this guy. He managed to scout out Murius. Murius has basically no defense. So if we're going to hit a throne, it's probably going to be this one. This is also very close to our territory. So I've given the eagles to a dancer and given some boots and an amulet so that she can move 33. She's bringing all the eagles over to Norfangs. Looks like that'll be a good point to leap off from, to just drop everyone on Murias. So maybe that's the plan. We'll see how this goes. If we manage to successfully lock down this area, take back this throne, then all we need to do is jump on Murias. And that would be the last throne we'd need to win. So it's a plan at least. Cataclysm expected in 6 months. So we'll see. We'll do our best. We've got kind of a plan. Have to see how things turn out. I'm just going to make sure these guys are all definitely still. Really frustrates me that if you're doing a ritual and then you change the equipment on your commanders, they stop casting the ritual. Oh, speaking of weird quirks in Dominions, I learned how to see this. So if you press H, it actually hides the rest of the UI. So you can see all of the enchantments that you have up. So this looks like it's only Forest Dome, but if I hit H, you can see them all. Really useful if you're playing this nation and you have tons of sites and enchantments everywhere. So good to know. Alright, so that was turn 71. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.